If that's what it takes to make me smile, I'm gonna walk 100 miles.
Hi, it's Marley. I have a celebrity-based catering and event planning company in Los Angeles called The Party Goddess. You might be wondering what I'm doing here, talking about business. Well, I wrote a business book to solve my own problems called But Are You Making Any Money? Because like you, I was a small business owner who was always spinning her wheels, and I always felt overwhelmed. And I just had so many questions and so many doubts about my business that I just decided that I would write a book to solve my own problems about pricing and fixing my overwhelm. And so I wanted to share them with you, which I did in my book. But today's video, we are going to talk about how to solve any business problem, no matter what it is, step by step, and really no matter how complicated it is. And why is this important? Because when people say, like, well, the common things that we all have are death and taxes, I would say that the common things that we all have are death, taxes, and problems, because we spend so much time thinking about our problems and being riddled with them in our businesses. So I figured I'm going to give you my strategy that has come after like 27 years of trying to figure it out. Now, you want to make sure you stay to the end, because I've got something cool and very cool and definitely free for you at the end that you can do that will amp up your business. And the other thing is, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, comment if you are so inclined. That would be great. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, and most importantly, what you want to see more of, so that we can give you more videos exactly on what you need help with, because I'm happy to do this for as long as you are. Okay, so here are the four steps that you want to take to solve any business problem. So I will be transparent, and I want to make sure that I give you real world examples. And so I'm going to give you one of my business problems, okay, that has plagued me forever. And it's going to seem really dumb to you probably, but I'm going to tell you anyway. What it is we would constantly have problems with our bookkeepers. And you might say, like, okay, well, what's the big deal? You have an event planning company. Like, how important is a bookkeeper? Okay, it is so important. Here's why. Because I would get an email and I would say, wait a second. Weren't we supposed to charge that client's credit card? Or weren't we supposed to, and it wouldn't have gotten done, and the bookkeeper would have forgotten, or should have been disorganized, or something would get paid late. Or one time I remember, like, our freaking insurance got canceled, and I was like, wait, thank goodness I was getting the email reminders, but I was like, wait, what is the problem? And I literally couldn't figure out what the problem was. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. Was I hiring the wrong people? Was I not being clear in my communication? Was I not being clear in my expectations? Maybe I was just that's possible. Did I expect too much? And I really couldn't figure it out. And then when I started to try to solve the problem of getting the right person in the right role, things got so much easier for me. And then guess what? The benefit was that I could really focus on what I wanted to do in my business, which was plan events. And now what I do, yes, I plan events for celebrities, and I plan very complicated events, and I love that. But like any business problem, if it's something that keeps coming up and keeps coming up, well, obviously you're part of the problem, right? Because it wouldn't keep coming up. But the other thing is that you have to realize that in there is where you're going to grow the most, right? Because we never grow, we never learn skills that are going to help us, like, for the rest of our business lives, if we don't have a problem to start with, and it's not usually a tough time. So something that puts us in pain in our business. And in this case, my pain was that I couldn't plan events as much as I wanted to, because I was so busy babysitting everybody and chasing somebody and saying, hey, did you get this done? Or did you get this done? And it was really a nightmare, and it affected so many aspects of my business. But most importantly, it was causing me to feel really, really burned out. And I just thought, I don't even want to do this anymore. You know, I got into the event planning business because I loved doing events, and I still love doing events. And I thought, I'm not doing any of that. All I'm doing is babysitting and doing these things that I hate. And I just remember saying to myself, listen, if I can't figure this out, guess what? I'm going to stop doing this. And I can't tell you how many times I almost gave up. And probably like you, right? I mean, there are probably days where you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, is this ever going to work? Is this ever going to take off? Is it ever going to be worth it that I had to miss my kids' games or whatever, or birthdays, or be late for something? Or is it ever going to pay off? And I want to assure you and let you know that yes, I promise you it will pay off. But you really have to spend a good amount of time, like Michael Gerber says in his videos and in his book, in his audio, E-Myth Revisited, he talks about you've got to work on your business, not just in it. So this is a great example. These are the 4 steps that you have to do to solve any business problem. And I'm going to relate them to solving my business problem of dealing with this whole bookkeeping situation. Okay, ready? So step number 1 is you have to figure out what the problem is in the first place. And I created a whole course around this called Your Biggest Business Problem Solved. So you can imagine there's a lot of detail I can go into, which I can't go into in this short video. But you have to figure out first what the real problem is. Because in my case, I thought so many things. I thought, well, is it that I don't have enough business? Or is it that my expenses are too high? Is it that I'm spending too much time with my clients? Is it that we just can't get paid fast enough? What is it? And so the first step to solving the problem is making sure you've got the right problem to solve, right? Making sure that your ladder is up against the right wall, because there's no point in solving a problem if you end up solving the wrong problem, and then guess what? You're still left with the problem. So it took me forever to figure that out. And so one of the things I talk about in this course is I talk a lot about brainstorming 20 things, like literally I call it write a list of 20 things at least that are bugging you in your business. So you literally write out a laundry list. Don't edit yourself. This is a whole part of brainstorming, is you just write every single thing that is bugging the daylights out of you, so that you can get it all on paper and then you can see it in front of you. And I know that some of you are saying 20, like I have 2,000. Okay, well fine then, write 2,000. But you won't, I promise. What's interesting is you will get to the point where you realize, I'm kind of running out of things to write. So step 1, make sure you've got the right problem. And easy way to do that is to brainstorm that list of 20 things. The next thing that you want to do is you want to organize that list, that whether it's 20 things or 2,000 things, and you want to put them all into buckets, okay? And you want to say, listen, what bucket, how do all these things come into play, right? Like, how am I going to figure all this out? And how am I going to make sure that I've got the right problem in the first place, okay? So you do that, and you kind of put these things into buckets, and you have to realize that when you're putting these things into buckets, you have to know that you are going to come up against challenges, okay? You are going to fail 1,000 times trying to solve this problem, whatever it is. So in my case of the whole bookkeeping thing, what did I do? Well, first I figured, okay, the problem is that maybe we don't have enough business. So then what did I do? I started hustling to get more clients. Well, then we'd get more clients, but then we'd have more expenses. And okay, the whole point was that wasn't the problem. So then I tried all these other things, and that still didn't work. So step 2 is really figuring that you are going to have to overcome a bunch of challenges in the process of kind of ordering and identifying the problem in the first place, okay? The third thing that you have to do is you have to create an action plan. And this is where I see people fall apart every time. And there's so much noise and junk on the internet these days about, oh, we can help you with your business, or I can consult and I can do this and I can do that. Okay, at the end of the day, you really have to be organized, and you have to have a specific written plan. It can't be in your head. It's got to be written. And one of the things that I promised you, if you guys stay, was that I would give you something free, but I'm also going to give you a really free a resource, because to me, business is really hard if you don't get down to the specifics about how to solve a problem, right? So when I talk about the third step being creating an action plan, how we create an action plan is, I kind of mentioned to you before how I did all that brainstorming, but then we actually take that action plan and I put it in a program that I love called Monday.com. And Monday.com is it's a competitor to Trello. It's basically project management. And so in this case, when you're trying to solve a problem, you want to solve, you are your own project. Okay, fine. In my case, it was finding a bookkeeper, right? So you put down all the different steps that you need to do to solve this, and then you reorder them and you set deadlines, et cetera, et cetera. So if there's anything I recommend, especially if you're creative like I am and visuals are really, really important, definitely try something like Monday.com and make sure that all the steps are written out, okay? Now, the fourth thing to solve any problem is to start putting it into action. So remember, so I gave you the tool of how to organize everything and how to start putting it into action, and that, let's say, is Monday.com. So you order your steps, but then you actually have to do them, okay? And what you're going to find is this is going to take you back to that other part, which is expect that there are going to be challenges and you're going to fall on your face. I cannot tell you for how many years I've been trying to solve this whole bookkeeping thing, right? And I just kept saying to myself, okay, is it more business? Okay, then I tried to get more business and we'd get more events in. But that still wasn't the problem. And at the end of the day, what it really boiled down to was that I really needed to find somebody who was very organized, very detail-oriented, and who really had great chemistry with me and understood my working style so that I could say, hey, listen, here's this event. We need to collect these deposits on these days. Make sure that the client gets a reminder, or your job is to remind me, make sure it happened, so that the whole process wasn't just totally on my shoulders. And another great resource that we use for proposals, if you are in any kind of creative business, I highly recommend HoneyBook, honeybook.com. I will put the notes in the show notes, a link for HoneyBook and a link for Monday. But HoneyBook is great because it also solved that problem of reminding clients, and it would let us do auto charges. But the thing is that I want you to realize is that solve the biggest problem, or come up with the biggest problem that is the most important and the one that is driving you the craziest. But at the end of the day, no matter what it is, there are really these 4 steps. Make sure that you've got the right problem. So I thought it was, hey, I needed to bring in more business. In reality, it wasn't. I just needed the right support person to help me out. The next thing is really make sure that you know you're going to have challenges and you are going to fall on your face. I'm sorry, you are just going to. And I wish somebody, when I was going through all this, now that I've been in business forever, but I wish somebody would just really have said, you're going to fail and you're going to keep failing, and that's part of the process. And no, you're not crazy, and no, you're not stupid. That's just part of the process, right? And so then the next thing that you have to do is you have to create that action plan. Now, as I say, we use Monday.com. I love it. And you can use whatever you want, Trello or anything else. But whatever you do, you have to make sure that you write down the action plan and you actually work that plan. And then the fourth thing is go and road test it and course correct it. So go out and then try it. And in our case, we try it. Okay, we'll do ads. We'll try to cut our expenses. We tried all these different things. And then it was, okay, maybe we need to hire a better bookkeeper to assist. And then there are all these steps and all these pieces to that I failed with. But at the end of the day, the point is that I now have solved the problem. And I'm going to create another video on that. But remember these 4 steps, and most importantly, start with the problem that is driving you the craziest. It's going to give you the biggest bang for the buck. Now, thanks for staying to the end. What I want you to do, and we're going to put it in the show notes, but text quiz to 818-600-0881. And you can take our productivity quiz and find out just how productive you are. And most importantly, it tells you what kind of cocktail you are. So it's kind of fun. Are you a dirty martini? Are you a vodka and Red Bull? So take the quiz. It's totally free. And if you haven't already, remember, please subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you want to see more about as far as these videos, how I can help. I would love to do that. And most importantly, I want to save you from so much of the business anxiety that I had and all those horrible stories you tell yourself. Like, I'm the only one. Promise you're not. Okay. Have a good one.
Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, if you would please like this video, leave a comment if you're so inclined, but definitely subscribe to the channel so you can get more tips like this. Thanks.